time I'm on the road, I can also expect high performance from Phoenix Fuels. We made it! Now with Pulse technology, delivers enhanced power and acceleration to make every trip come alive.
Vibrant AI picture. Resonant AI sound. The wonder of LG OLED TV.
I'm Pamela Baranda.
I am Rian Ramos, and I'm driving for the Phoenix Pulse
Racing team.
Yung preparations, the simulator was brought probably a week before the race, and luckily, marami akong free time that week. So, nakapag-practice ako.
First time I tried it was the race for the frontliners, and I was all over the place. So this time, I actually had the rig for a few days pa lang, and I've practiced maybe 45 minutes. I get very frustrated, so I don't want to push it too much because I might form the bad habit. Gonna be practicing maybe 10 laps at least.
Meron talaga siyang learning curve. Sa totoo lang, sa simula, mahirap talaga siyang matutunan at measure if you're braking enough because you can feel your body move forward, or if you're turning enough, you can feel the car, you know, and your body's being flung to the side while you're steering. Pero dito, parang kailangan mo talagang tansyahin based on, parang i-memorize mo lang how the simulator is reacting to you. The more seat time you have, the better you get at it. This is one of those cases na talagang practice makes perfect.
Of course, virtual is totally different. You have to be creative. The feel of the car, wala yun. The sound, the smell, the feel. So now you just really have to focus on the technicality, like memorizing the track, memorizing the braking points, the apex. And I think this is gonna be a new challenge for me.
Hi everybody watching right now. I hope that you get a chance to watch and support the Formula V1 Virtual Cup.
It's actually a whole new world for me. It's a big challenge. It's actually as exciting, as fun as the real race that we do.
This is brand new for us, but we are gonna do our very, very best to give you a good show. Hopefully get better and better every single race. So please watch out for all of our races.
Action-packed din siya. And I hope you guys enjoy as much as we do.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to Race 2 of the Phoenix Pulse Formula V1 Virtual Cup. My name is JP Tuason, and I'm the CEO and Racing Director of Tuason Racing. Now, before we start, please allow me to introduce our co-host tonight. She is a Formula 3 race car driver, a model, a TV personality. Everybody help me welcome Miss Gabby De La Merced. Come on down, Gabs.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, JP, and thank you for having me. So thanks, Tuason Racing. This is the first homegrown esports race series in the country, and I'm so glad to be here. So this time we see real race car drivers and esports racers battle it out in another thrilling PC-based Assetto Corsa game.
So, Gabs, have you ever played one of these games before?
You know, I tried it once, and it was because of you guys as well. Can't wait.
Okay.
You know, I saw the first round, and ooh, I'm raring to try it out myself.
You know, there's going to be a lot of action tonight, and hopefully we can get you into one of these simulators and get you into the game. That will be even more exciting. Real race car drivers, real racetracks, right? That's our theme here.
Yeah.
Okay, so to celebrate our 21st year as the premier motorsports company in the country, we want to give racing enthusiasts another career path on the global motorsports competition using our homegrown Formula V1 racing program. So since physical races are not yet allowed due to the community quarantine restrictions set by the government, Tuason Racing and Phoenix Pulse are bringing the Formula V1 series to the comfort and safety of your homes via virtual racing. So tonight we've got these e-racers and professional race car drivers who are ready to start the race series and get into the action.
Okay, so to know more about the series, let's watch the clip.
So 2 years ago, Tuason Racing launched its Formula V1 series and became the country's only Formula car program that is being participated in both Filipino and international racers. We actually had Gabby in one of those races, in one of those race cars. There you go. So the winners, by the time that were given a chance to compete at the Suzuka circuit. And how do you find racing one of these cars, Gab, in real life?
You know what? It's quite technical. These beasts. There's a lot of aerodynamics involved, and you can't exactly push your weight around. I found myself overdriving the car a lot of times, and it's really for me a good balance of, you know, composure and getting to know the car, and yeah, so it's interesting. I know that the challenges to get it in an actual e-race is going to be so much more. So I can't wait to see how the drivers will handle it.
Yeah, and you know, I'm super excited to get you into one of these virtual Formula V1 cars because we've designed the series to be as close to driving a Formula V1 car on a real track. So, you know, the tires have grip, but not a lot of grip. You got to wait for the tires to heat up. You got to wait for the brakes to heat up. You know, the track, as it actually gets grippier, you can feel that in the car and go faster. So, expansion of sports activities in the country due to the worldwide COVID-19 pandemic. You know, we're going to hold this homegrown race series now in the virtual world. So with the suspension of sports activities in the country due to the worldwide COVID-19 pandemic, we're holding this homegrown racing series in the virtual world.
And to make this race more exciting, Tuason Racing and our friends from Phoenix Petroleum Philippines also launched the Formula V1 Fantasy League. This league gives the non-gaming race fans a chance to be part of the racing action. Each participant of the Formula V1 Fantasy League may own a race team by choosing 3 drivers from AM and Pro class, and Formula V1 Virtual Cup teams as well. Participants may gain points from their chosen driver's performance and playing in weekly games. So the earned points during the Fantasy League may be exchanged with wonderful rewards provided by our sponsors, Phoenix Petroleum Philippines, LG Philippines, Bendix, Blue Chem, PC Express, and TopTool. The Formula V1 Fantasy League will be having 5 winners, guys. With these winners in every leg, and we will have the top 3 for overall. So para talagang race.
That's right.
It's very similar to a
That's
whole
right.
race.
So the interesting thing, Gabs, is not only are we organizing this race for the drivers to participate in, right, which is the Formula V1 virtual races, but we've also got this fantasy league, and the idea is to be able to engage all those race fans out there. And what it allows people to do is sort of put together a fantasy race team, right? So they can pretend that they're race team owners, and I think that's really, really cool. Not only can they accumulate points across the season, but they can change these points or exchange them for actual prizes.
Yeah, that's amazing, because it's not only from a driver's perspective, but it's also from a team manager's perspective as well. So it's like a whole all around feeling of what it takes to be in a motorsports team.
Exactly, without spending the millions of peso. Right?
Yes, that's what makes it feel good. And also as part of Tuason Racing's CSR efforts, the motorsports company will be lending a hand to the Mabuhay Deseret Foundation. This located in Cubao, Quezon City, and this foundation has provided thousands of free subsidized operations every year that correct medical conditions such as cataracts, cross-eyed, cleft lip and palate, burn contractions, post-polio, club feet for the poor. So for donations, please send your donations to our account flashed right below.
Yep. So again, feel free to help these kids. We've been working with Mabuhay Deseret for almost 15 years now, and again, it's amazing when you realize such a small amount of money, and I think it's about 3,000 peso for every operation. So for 3,000 peso, you can change the life of one of these young kids. So for tonight, we've got a total of 55 racers vying for the amateur and pro crowns for race 2. So we're going to see these racers closely competing to reach the final round of the Phoenix Pulse Formula V1 Virtual Cup. So who's going to make it to the final round? We're going to find out in a minute. 2 racers are going to be competing in race 2 of the AM class. And the interesting thing is we're going to have a reverse grid for this race. So the top 10 finishers of race 1 are going to be in a reverse grid. And that makes it more exciting, not only for the drivers, but I mean, in terms of strategy to build up the points for the whole season, you really need to be thinking about this. So right now on screen, we're looking at the top 10 winners for race 1. And because of their finish, right, Andre Varquez, who won race 1 of the AM class, is actually going to be in P10. So in 10th place, we have Andre Varquez for this next race. 9th place, we have Francis. 8th place, we have Jether. Then we have Riel, Zetric, Aldo, Julian. And then starting 3rd, we have Mark Lester Rosales. In 2nd place, we have Ralph Dominic Saniza. And in 1st place, pole position, we have Pio Pascual. I don't know if he's related to the famous Pascual, but I don't know. We'll see. All right. So, Gabs?
Yeah, what an interesting grid. And to keep things more exciting, we'll be raffling items from Bendix and Blue Chem Philippines. Woohoo! So, The question for this round's game is, who is Race 1's AM Class champion? Again, who is Race 1's Class AM champion? Now type in your answers below.
Okay, so we're gonna raffle off 2 winners. So guys, keep on putting your answers below and we will announce at the end of the program.
So, and I'm just reminding everyone that Phoenix Fuels is also doing a raffle. So make sure to stay tuned and see what it's all about. So users need to watch the Race 2, which is the Phoenix Pulse Formula V1 Virtual Cup, happening at any moment. After this broadcast, you will need to answer 3 questions that will be posted on the Phoenix Fuels Facebook fan page. And here are the 3 questions. Who are the celebrity racers of Phoenix Pulse racing teams who raced in the AM class? That's question 1. Now, question 2. What is the PC-based game used in the Formula V1 Virtual Cup? Okay. And now for a last question. Who is the Race 1 champion in the Formula V1 Cup Pro class?
Okay, so those are the 3 questions. Great. So lucky 15 individuals will answer the questions right and will get 200 pesos of Phoenix Fuel vouchers via the Limitless app. So download that app right now.
Yes.
And of course, they'll also get 300 Limitless points. Winners will automatically earn an e-raffle entry and a chance to win a Nintendo Switch version 2. My goodness, can we join this? Gabs,
Yes.
we got to sign on real quick. They're also giving away a Fitbit Versa 2 and a chance to win 10,000 pesos of Phoenix Fuel vouchers, again via the Limitless app. So Phoenix Fuel lubricants as well, or Phoenix Racing merchandise. So much stuff being given away. Guys, check out the Phoenix Fuel's Facebook fan page, okay? And winners will be drawn towards the end of the Formula V1 Virtual Cup racing season.
My gosh, you know, the race hasn't even started. I'm so excited. I want to join the competition too to get these prizes. Wow, what a
game.
raffle.
Let's make that happen, Gabs.
Yes. So now, guys, it's time to stretch your reflexes, rev up your engines, and let's start the show. It is a beautiful day at the Monza track right now. You can see them all revved up. Start your engines. Now, the race is composed with 10 laps around this track. If you guys don't know yet, this track, and we have takeoff.
There we go. So we have Pio, Pascual, Papa P.
Yeah.
In pole position.
Remember, this is a reverse grid, guys.
We got somebody going off.
Heartbreaking.
Somebody is off. And is that Pio Pascual?
Okay,
That's
so
right, I think it was Pio.
yeah, so Julian Colvin takes the lead this time. Wow, what an interesting start of the race.
Okay, so that is great because there's a lot of action at the front, and if it is Julian, and we're trying to confirm that now, if he's leading the race and he's come all the way from P4, so that's a great race start for him.
Yeah. Wow, this is amazing. So much action and within the first few seconds of the race. And I was looking at the lap times. Everyone's pretty much within the second. At least the top 10 are a second within each other. So it is going to be a tight race.
It is, especially with the reverse grid. So the top 10 guys were reversed from their result in race 1. And that basically puts the winner, Andre Varquez, all the way up to P10.
Woo! Okay,
so riding, I think right now we're riding on board with Aldo.
And someone's just about to overtake. Clean.
Yeah, that was a pass from the outside.
Yeah, you don't see that every day.
That's right.
Woo! Well, if you guys don't know this yet, this track was actually used in race 1, and this obviously is what we're using in race 2. It is also a historic track in Monza City, Milan, in Italy. which was basically built in, the 1920s back.
Wow.
Yeah,
Historic,
so a
huh?
lot of
Historic
things
racing.
that has happened here. Formula One Grand Prix was held here ever since. I mean, I did they finish the Monza race already this
Yes,
year?
they did. A lot of action at that race.
Yeah.
But if you actually look at on the track, we've got a lot of action too. We have Andre Barquez coming all the way from 10th place. He just made a move. Oh! And he
Okay.
has gone off the track into the runoff area. He's lost a lot of time there. He's lost 2 positions trying to overtake. And
Dude.
yeah, 2 positions. You know how that works, Gab. If you're too aggressive, then instead of gaining positions, you can lose positions.
Yes.
So
And it really looks like it's like the real thing. If you hit those berms hard, the suspension of these cars are extremely stiff. So you have to kind of be gentle on the berms.
that's right. That's right. So aside from these guys that we're seeing on track, we've got 2 celebrity racers also on the grid, Rian and Fem, and both of them have had real race experience not only in the Toyota Vios Cup, but also in the Formula V1 endurance races. So real race car drivers now in the virtual world.
It's exciting to hear their feedback actually on how different it is, or comparing it to the real cars, the real V1 cars. And you can see some people really jump the berms over here.
I think it's interesting to see that some of these racers really using a lot of the track, right? You can see here at Monza, there's actually a lot of areas where you can cut some of the chicanes, and you can see that they're using all of that and sometimes even more.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen it's kind of tricky because it definitely upsets your car, but if you manage to find a way to handle and steer it, that getting it off smoothly, definitely I could see that as an advantage.
Now we've got an onboard now with Ralph, and I think what's really interesting to see with Ralph over there just a second ago was he wasn't in a rig. He's actually just using a controller. So using a controller in this game at this level is crazy. I think it takes a lot of practice and skill to do that.
It's called gamer skills.
Okay, I don't have those skills. I need a steering wheel. I can't do it.
There's already such a term called like gamer's muscles, I think, and it's somewhere located near the thumbs. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I mean, e-games, especially within the last decade, has blown immensely, and it's so nice, JP, that Tuason Racing was finally able to do our first homegrown e-race series here in the Philippines.
Yeah, I mean, we really want to make sure that we can provide a career path for the up-and-coming race enthusiasts, and we believe that this time when we all have to stay home, the best way to get people into motorsports is through esports and virtual racing. So here we are.
Yeah, it's great timing as well. I mean, it's you see the chaos and everything, and this gives some semblance of home. And I remember, with esports, I don't know if you called it back like that back then, but I remember you going to like different, I think it was Resorts World back then. You had like a program wherein random people from all walks of life could come in and try the game virtually and see if you have picks. And I think we've gotten race car drivers because of that program of yours.
Yeah, that's right. So over the years, we've had esports programs that graduated people up into go-karts and then into real cars. But now I think the situation is different, that the simulations are so realistic, right? That you can learn so much more just from driving at home. And I think moving forward into the future, this is going to be something that's just only going to grow in popularity because it's easily attainable for a lot of people. And again, I think going from esports to the real thing will be something that's going to be much more widely accepted.
Ooh, and
Somebody's got it off.
someone just overshot in a
So
major way.
Louis has basically just cut through that chicane, and because of that, he's going to have to give back all those positions.
Okay, so if you give, just as long as you don't gain,
Yeah.
you don't get a penalty. Am I right?
No, that's correct. So if you overshoot, so long as you don't take any positions away from others, then the stewards will let it go. So we organize this race just like a real race, where we've got race stewards, and they're watching the races, making sure that any incidents that happen on track are actually penalized properly.
Nice, nice. It's amazing. You know, going back to what we were talking about e-racing, I remember my
Yeah.
first race, and it was first international race. It was at Sepang, and I remember
Okay.
asking the coach, "Okay, how do I practice? I've never been to, the race before." And he was like, "You know what, Gab? Buy a PlayStation, get this game." And since
Right.
galing. So, it really did help. And since then, whenever I'd go to whatever international track, I would look for a game or look for a console that had that game, that
Right.
track, and would practice. And this was, way back when. I could imagine the technology now and how accurate it is. I mean, you were just talking about like the heat temperature on the tires. That's amazing. Wherein depending on how much you scrub on the tires, on how grippy you'll get, or even overheat the tires. So is there a possibility to overheat the tires as well over here?
Oh yeah, for sure. The simulation is so realistic that you got to heat up the tires, and if you work them too hard, they overheat, right? So they become very slippery, and you start to lose time. So currently we're looking at Rian Ramos. So we've got a great in-car of her, and you can see she's concentrating really, really hard.
Yeah, she's been pretty aggressive. I saw her really hit that berm over there. But what's amazing with e-racing also, you have a chance to try out things that you would be, second guessing in real life as well. So you would it's a lot safer way. Guess that's the best way to say it. Safer way to experiment and see the perfect line.
Yeah. I think the beauty of esports or virtual racing is if you crash your car as well, you can just wait for the next race, right? There's no major expense. So we've got an update for race control, and we've got a DNF from Fem Baranda. So unfortunately, Fem is out of the race because of suspension damage. So bad luck for Fem, and hope to see her in the next race. Okay, we're now on. What lap are we on, Gabs?
We are
on.
Is it the?
I think we're on lap 5. Lap 5.
Okay, 5th lap. Yes. Okay, so 5 more laps. So we are officially midway into the race.
That's right. And who do we have here? We've got Carl. We're riding on board with Carl, and let me see, what position are these guys? Okay.
I have a question.
Okay, so yeah.
Can you design your livery as well?
Yeah. So what we've done is we've patterned the whole series after the way we run Formula V1. So you can see the cars have the Formula V1 logos on it. We've got the series sponsors. And what we actually do is we allow the drivers to individually design their cars around those logos, and they can put their own logos, they can put whatever they want, and it allows them to work with their sponsors.
Nice.
So even in the virtual world, people can be working with their sponsors and designing the cars.
Galing, because I could see the Phoenix cars. They look exactly like the cars, that I just saw last year.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Galing.
So what we do is we actually provide some designs to the drivers if they don't have the opportunity to make their own liveries. We provide some of those, and then again we give the drivers the liberty to put together their own designs.
Nice, because I've been seeing a lot of interesting designs, and colorful, different colors as well, unique colors as well. So it's nice to see their personalities come out in these cars.
That's right. So at the moment, just a quick update. Julian Colvin. Okay, so this is actually a real race car driver now. He's currently in P1. And he's starting to lap some of the back markers. Okay.
Wow.
And now we're riding on board with Andre Varquez. He's entering lap 6, and he's now in P5, starting from P10. So these are the guys to be watching, Julian and Andre. So
yeah. So now he is currently chasing Mark Lester Rosales, who is, pretty near.
That's right. So he is now in 5th place, and I guess he's chasing 4th place down. So we still have 4 laps in this race, so anything can happen. You can see there's been a lot of action in the back. There's cars with a lot of bodywork damage. So looks like there's been quite a bit of action back there.
I'm sure there's been a lot of rubbing. You can see, as the race starts, everything's so pristine, and right now, all the cars that I'm looking at.
And then after a while, you can't read any of the logos.
That is true.
But I think that's one of the things we're trying to teach, Gabs. Even in the virtual world, we're trying to teach people that racing cars. You say rubbing is racing, right? But you can only do that to a certain extent. So even at this stage, we're trying to teach the drivers to drive properly, and if they do cause accidents or damages, we actually penalize them like we would do in real life. So we're trying to make sure that the drivers understand motorsports, so that when they move up into real racing, they understand how it works. It's not all Mario Kart, right?
That is very true. And the damages, you already mentioned that there are a few people that have been DNF'd already because of suspension problems and stuff like that. I mean, the only way you could get that are because of damages, and I think putting that on and being very strict with that, not just with the marshals, but with the car setup as well, does teach the drivers that they just can't go gung-ho on every turn or on their race opponents as well. So now we are entering lap 7.
Right, so, and we just missed a really great move by Andre, who took 4th place for Mark at the last corner.
Wow.
So we've got 3 laps to go, Gabs.
Last 3. So people who want to overtake, they're probably already setting up. This is their chance. Last 3 laps. No.
And the points for this race are going to be times 1.0. So we're going to be giving out the standard points at this race. But the beauty of the way we've set up the series is coming into the next round, which is at Laguna Seca, we're going to be giving out a 1.5 times factor on the points. So the points get bigger, just like in Formula V1, and that could shake things up quite a bit.
Definitely. It's quite interesting that, as per race, I think, and on the 3rd leg, it's going to even be higher, the points. Am I getting it right?
That's right. That's right. It's going to be times 2. So with the reverse grids and the points factors going up, I think it's going to make for a crazy finish to this season.
Yeah. So I think till the very end, it'll be anybody's race. So, at the end of the day, it's all about consistency and perseverance, guys.
That's right. Okay, so who are the people to watch out? We've got Julian Pang again. Julian is actually leading this race, and he is the Vios Racing Festival second place overall champion for
Nice.
2019. So leading this AM race right now is a real race car driver. So that makes things really interesting, right? We have these novice esports racers racing against real race car drivers now.
So how do you differentiate a novice e-racer to a pro? Are there like specific categories on how to
Oh yeah,
to have one certain
for sure.
Uh-huh.
So the professional esports racers are the guys that usually represent the country at esports tournaments. These guys
Okay.
have won a lot of the local races, and again have got a wealth of experience racing online. So the novice guys are the guys that have just started, and I think it's great for them to get exposed to a series like this because again the competition is quite high. As you said earlier, the top 10, actually probably the top 15 are very, very close in terms of lap times. And I think 1 second basically separates 15 drivers in this series.
Wow. Wow, that is amazing. Ang galing, para lang siyang with what you just told me on how the e-race happens, it's kind of like having a racing license, so to speak.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. So actually the top 10 guys at the races will be issued a Formula V1 license this year.
Wow.
So it's going to be kind of cool, yeah.
Yeah. Well, going back to the race, we are at lap 8. And the last clip right about there was, I think someone was just about to overtake. I couldn't quite see who it was. But now, you have 2 laps left. So if you want to do something, now's the time. But it also gets tricky because, overtaking, and if it's medyo alanganin, you might you might collide on something and not finish the race, or that's where all this mental pressure starts coming in.
Oh, we've got an accident. Oh no, Rian is off. Rian has just gone off, and hopefully she can continue. Okay, her car is okay. She's still continuing. But the interesting thing, Gabs, is it's a back-to-back race, right? So you have to remember that these drivers are in the second of 2 races now, and each race is about 20 minutes long. And before that, they've got qualifying. Before that, they've got a little bit of practice. So some of these drivers have probably been in the car for almost an hour. So driving for an hour, it's easy to lose concentration like that.
That is true. What a lot of people don't realize is that since they think it's a game, you're laxing around, with TV or sounds, or you have food. No, I mean, especially when you're racing at this level, the mental and physical exhaustion.
And to be able to make that move, so that was a great move that we just saw by Zedric there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're now riding on board with Advan.
So, yeah, people are still kind of paired up, so that there's still a lot of action, and we're already at lap 9. You know
That's
what?
right.
1 lap to go. So Julian Colvin, I'm assuming, is still leading the pack.
He is. He's actually stretched out quite a bit of a lead, and so long as he doesn't make any major mistakes, I think he's going to be able to. Got a spinner out there.
Speaking of, and that guy was, I don't know who it was, but he was running second. We were just talking about that mental pressure that comes in at the last lap. So everyone just really needs to keep it steady right now. Oh, this is exciting.
So we're on board now with Andre Varquez, and you can see Andre is now in second place. He's basically come all the way down from 10th and is now running in second. That's going to get him a lot of points for the series. He's going to be leaving this series if he can finish in that position as the series leader. But we can also see that Julian has a very, very comfortable lead. So long as he makes no mistakes, he should be able to wrap this one up.
You know what? It's amazing. Like on his exit right there, you could see him kind of oversteer, but he's
That's
just
right, sliding the car, right?
he's sliding the car around. You know he is at the limit with this car.
That's right. That is right. And you can also see the drivers bouncing off the curbs. You know, you can see them
Yeah.
pushing really hard, using all of the road. And you know, that's the secret to Monza, right? You got to be able to use all of the road and sometimes a bit more without getting a penalty. So we've actually discussed this in the drivers briefing. So we had a proper drivers briefing before the start of this series that there's some areas that you cannot use. So we're now at the last turn, and if I'm not mistaken, this is it. There we go.
That is
Congratulations.
so on P1. Congratulations, Julian. Second place is Andre, and third place is Real. Wow,
There
what
we
a
go. Congratulations. Again, third place Real, and second place Andre Varquez from Ribbon Art Times Productive Motorsports, and our champion, Julian Colvin Tang, okay, from the Avengers Racing Team. A real race car driver has won this race. Congratulations to real race car drivers. Woo-hoo!
galing.
To
Okay.
wrap up the top 10, in 10th place, we have Juvar. In ninth place, we have J.S. Navarro. In eighth place, we had Advan Ramirez. Seventh place, we had Patrick Maliksi. In sixth place, we have Ralph Dominic Ceniza. Fifth place, Aldo Balaguan. And in fourth place, Mark Lester Rosales. So our podium winners: third place, Rial; second place, Andre; and our champion is Julian Tang. Congratulations again, you guys! Woohoo! And our
And
fastest lap was put in by
Andre Varquez with 2 minutes and 2 seconds, point 23.
woohoo! That is quick. That is
That
definitely
is
quick.
quick. That is very, very quick.
All
Yeah.
right. So the next part, I think we've got the winners that
Oh,
are here for our interview. So if we can get those guys up on the podium, come on in, you guys.
yes, congratulations, winners. So, first off, I want to know how it was like racing this race. Let's start off with Julian.
How was like racing this race? It was all right. uh, it was a messy start, if I recall, but after surviving that, it was okay.
Yeah, you seem pretty composed, and you pretty much led the race the whole time.
Yeah, I think the key there was just to survive the first lap and not get into any accidents. But it was definitely tricky. I saw in the final laps that Andre was catching up. I was like, wow, he's super fast.
Yeah, he was quick. He was coming from 10th place and made it all the way to second. Could you see him in your rear view mirror, or was it clear the whole way?
I caught a glimpse of him, but yeah, he wasn't quite close. But then, if it dragged on for maybe 2 more laps, he'd be within striking distance.
All right.
All right.
Let's move on to Andre Varquez, who actually clocked the fastest time of the day.
My experience for this race was pretty fun actually, and on the second race I had no ABS, so that gave me two things. First, I cannot slow down fast, and second is that I cannot brake while I'm turning because my wheels are locked. So I crashed into a few people on the first lap, and then I remember what was the command to turn on my ABS. So I gained my composure there again, and I started from way below 10th pace and up to second place.
Wow.
Yeah, congratulations with the fastest lap of that
Thank you.
race, and without any ABS. That sounds like a
Yeah.
feat in itself.
It was a very silly yet very expensive silly mistake.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to seeing what you do in the next race. So let's
Yeah.
move on to Riel.
Hello po. So, this is my first race po competitively. And hindi ko po ina-expect na masasama po ako sa top 3 drivers.
I think that's an amazing feat as well. And what did you learn, Riel? Anong natutunan mo dito sa karera na magagamit mo sa next round?
So, I learned the proper racing lines and proper racing etiquettes po. And ano po,
Well, it's amazing. I mean, debut race at podium kaagad.
Awesome.
Congratulations, huh?
thank you po.
Yeah, so I guess we can see that there's definitely a lot of up and coming talent coming from this race series. And let's go back very quickly to Andre. Andre, anong natutunan mo sa race na to na gagamitin mo sa next round?
Don't pressure. I don't have to pressure myself if someone is near me, if there's going to be a clash going to happen. And then I just want to say my thanks to Austin Racing and Phoenix Fields for hosting such a great event for incorporating their successful V1 real life racing series into the virtual world. And Sim Racing PH for also helping me, my team Ribbon Arc, and a productive crew for teaching me the acts of motorsport racing, and to Paul Faustino, who is also racing in the pro class, for letting me borrow his old wheel controller for me to compete, or else I wouldn't be here in the position I have today. That's all.
Nice, nice. Congratulations, Julian. For the next round, what strategies are you gonna put into to place to do well?
Especially in Laguna Seca, I think the key really will be to avoid any accidents because the elevation changes are so big,
Yeah.
and it's super easy to lock up and get the butt of the car to over rotate, which oversteers and you bump into everyone. So just really fine car control and I guess more awareness with who's around you, because that's something I'm still kind of struggling to get used to. Because in driving the sim, your awareness isn't as whole as driving in a real car, and that's definitely something I'm
Right.
still kind of getting used to.
Right.
All right.
Okay. So again, congratulations to our winners. In third place, we have Riel. In second place, we have Andre, and our champion, Julian Tang, a real race car driver from the Avengers Racing Team. Guys, thank you very much, and good luck in the next round.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're back. So just a quick review after race one. We have with us the top 23 racers who will advance to our race two. Now we've got a reverse grid of the top 10 positions. So if we can move on to the screen, there we go. We can see the top 10 guys. And this is how it finished in race one. So as we can see, Luis Moreno won race one, and that basically means he will start in 10th place. So Gabs, you want to read it out real quick?
Yeah, so at 10th place for this race would be Luis Moreno. On 9th is Inigo Anton. 8th, Daryl Brady. 7th, Paul Basse. 6th, Russell Reyes. 5th is Zuriel Zumodobila. And 4th is Shane Jadukanya. And now at our top 3 would be Terence Lallave. Second is Alexis Clapano, and pole position is Estefano Rivera, who is
A real race car driver.
Yes, and our V1 champion last year.
That's right. So he actually represented the Philippines in Suzuka, and that was an amazing race that that Estefano had in Suzuka last year. He actually was battling for a podium position, and he finished 10th out of over 30 cars on the grid. Sorry, 5th over 30 cars on the grid and was actually given an award for such a great performance. So congratulations, Estefano, for last year's Formula V1 championship and representing the Philippines in Japan. And let's now see how he does on the grid in the virtual world in Monza.
Yes,
Okay, so
so we are back. This is it. This is the moment of truth, guys, where our aspiring racers have always waited for. In the next few moments, we will have the winners of Race 2 Phoenix Pulse Formula V1 Virtual Cup.
okay, so for race 1, last week it was dominated by Daryl Brady, Inigo Anton, and Luis Moreno. So we have the lights, and there we go. We've got a good start from
Ooh, some contact.
third place.
Over there. Yeah. Second and third. Whew.
So third place has gotten a good run up to.
Oh, it's a 3.
Oh! Action!
That is crazy. You see that they're really trying to drive in for position. It hasn't even been a few seconds in. There's been so much contact. You can see how important it is from the race, from the takeoff. You really have to position yourself well. You know, Estefano was really, it has a bit of luck also. He was sandwiched between the two.
There,
but, you know, he made it out there. They're out semi-unscathed, and let's see how it battles out.
Okay, so we've got Alex now leading the race, and we can see his onboard. There we go. You can see he's concentrating really, really hard, focusing on what he needs to do, and he needs to put his head down. We've got some faster drivers in the back, and hopefully he can break away from that group. Some of the racers that are attacking him, we've got Alexis versus Estefano. Again, Estefano having a lot of experience, not only in real racing, but in Formula V1. And now he's bringing the fight onto the virtual world.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting how when we watch the pro drivers compared to the AM drivers, you can see there's a lot more consistency here. These people are used to racing virtually. You know, some racing real life and some virtually as well. So they know how the car runs. They know how.
That's right.
What it's.
So we're now on lap 2, and Estefano has made a great move on Terence Liave, our Super Cup champion, who is going to represent the Philippines at the regional Super Cup races. And some other drivers to be watching out for. Oh, we've got side-by-side action there.
Oh, beautiful move. Oh, he gets taken out at the end of the chicane. Contact with.
Oh, my goodness.
Right there.
Oh, no. I think that was Estefano. So
yes,
Stefano, contact with Terence. Stefano is a bit out. I don't know if he's going to be able to get back into this race. Some other drivers to be watching out for. Again, we have Inigo Anton, who is the slalom champion and a pro class champion. Okay, and who else do we have? People to look out for in these races. We have Russell Cabrera and Joaquin Garrido. So these are the up-and-coming racers. They are both go-kart racers, and they are now racing in Formula V1 in the virtual world.
It's nice how to see, you know, coming from either karting backgrounds or Formula backgrounds or slalom backgrounds, how they'll adapt to this e-race.
Okay, so we're riding now with Zuriel. And again, you can see them. These pro drivers are using all of the road and more as well, but they're keeping it on the road, and we expect to see some action from some of these guys as the faster drivers catch up with the drivers in the front.
And
okay, we've got to move here.
Whew. You know, we're entering lap 3, and everyone, all the way from the front to the mid-grid to the back grid, everyone's so close together.
Okay, so Daryl Brady in 6th place is now making a move on Inigo Anton in 5th. You can see Daryl is smiling. He's smiling because he is
Ear to ear.
going to make it.
Oh,
No, he
he
just
let it
doesn't have the
go.
speed.
All right,
Inigo
yeah,
Anton closes the door on him.
that's actually, yeah, keeping it smart. You know, you still have more than 8 laps to go. Oh, I mean, 7 laps to go. You know, that overtake would have been a bit tricky, and if he, you know, there was collision there, he could have gotten taken out.
That's right. So he's got 7 laps to go. I think Daryl made a good decision to kind of let that one slide. He needs to look for a better opportunity to pass on this track.
Yeah. He, you know, you could see at the straightaway. Oh, speaking of, you know, someone just made Mark Ellman just did a small error, and someone just overtook him really fast.
So Mark Ellman, if I'm not mistaken, is competing from Singapore. So Filipino driver based in Singapore on with us tonight. So thank you for joining, Mark.
You know what? That's amazing. That's what's amazing, I think, about e-racing. You know, you connect to the world. I mean, this guy is all the way from Singapore, and he is racing with other Filipinos in a track in Italy. It's
right.
And the next
isn't that amazing? Oh, what a great move there.
It's great. You know what? Oh, that's a bad crash.
So we're on board with Gab, and we have contact. That was Sebastian Soto.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough hit right there. I hope his car is well and he is able to go back on track.
Okay, so we're now on board with LJ Butok. Okay, and LJ is driving in VR. Did you see the goggles? That was awesome.
That's something I'd actually want to try. I've tried a zombie game with VR. Okay. It's no joke. But doing it racing, I could imagine you could really, it enhances the experience.
Okay, so here's a short recap for the Pro Class points after race 1. Luis Moreno of Legion of Racers with 22 points. Inigo Anton of Avengers with 15 points. Daryl Brady of Sim Racing PH times Daryl Brady GP with 12 points. And Paul Basse of PMMS Rensport with 10 points. And Russell Reyes of Sim Racing PH times Top Spec with 8 points. Nice. So again, there's a lot of action on the ground, and we can see now riding with Russell Cabrera. Russell is on the Phoenix Pro team, so Russell is representing Phoenix in this race, and he is in 8th place. So if he can keep in that position, he's ready to take home some points tonight. So good job, Russell Cabrera.
Yeah, it looks like also his car's spick and span, nice and clean and shiny. I can see the reflection right over there on the onboard camera. Okay.
So we're riding now with Jamil in 10th place.
Yeah. Right now, I think we are entering. We're on the 3rd lap, right? Is it?
No, actually, we're on lap 5, so we're at about halfway now.
Yeah, so you could already see the cars kind of gain some distance with each other. So people, like, the cars are setting into place. Let's see.
Yeah, Terence Liave is in 6th place, and he is chasing Daryl Brady.
And he's getting pretty close. It looks like it could be a 3-way battle right over there. Ooh! Good overtake by Luis Moreno. Oh!
And Zuriel goes off at
Zuriel
the
goes
exit.
off. He's managed to catch it. I mean, he's gone down, I think, one place. But
Okay,
ooh,
but he's still on track, huh? That's
yeah,
good.
he's still on track. Now it does look like a four-way battle. You know, these things can get tricky because you're there, you're trying to overtake the one in front of you. But if you get too focused on the one in front, you don't know that you're giving an opening at the person at the back. And when you're in between that, speaking of, Zuriel makes it beautiful. Beautiful. Takes it outside, entering the chicane, and gets him by the second corner.
Okay, so these two guys, Zuriel and Shane, are both racing from Cagayan de Oro. Welcome, guys. So you've got drivers from all over the Philippines and from all over the world. Oh!
Ooh, speaking of and mid contact, a little bit of a hiccup right there. At least he's back on track. Was that
Somebody else
Estefano
got off as well? I think that was Terence. Terence Liave is off. Oh, yeah. Terence has lost it coming out of the Parabolica, and it's not a good place to lose it. Very high speed, so Terence has lost a lot of places.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. I mean, that's the corner right before the straightaway, and if you don't have the speed coming into it, you're gonna lose a lot.
So we've got a great onboard now with Alexis. Alexis is leading this race, and he's got quite a good lead on Luis Moreno, who is in second place now. We have 4 laps. Hopefully, Alexis can keep it in front of Luis, but we're gonna have to see. Luis is quick. We've got a 4.4 second gap between these two, and let's see how that pans out.
You know, 4.4 seconds looks like it's big, but I mean, with still halfway of the race to go, I mean, anything can happen as we have seen. I mean, there's been so much spins, you know, not even collisions, but you know, critical errors. So people really have to focus over here.
Okay, so update, Luis Moreno is lapping about half a second faster than Alexis.
And that is big.
That is big, but with only 3 laps left, I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Yeah.
With a 4.4 second, with a 4 second gap and only half a second faster a lap, it might not be enough.
Yeah, it might not be enough. Just as long as, you know, I pretty much, Alexis has to have a flawless run. Just as long as it doesn't have any errors, I think he could take it home.
Okay, again, we're riding with Mark Ellman, and Mark is driving all the way from Singapore at this beautiful... Oh, Mark! Mistake there for Mark. I know. Na pressure. So Mark is now racing versus Gab. And Gab is one of the winners from the Super Cup. He is a podium placer at the Super Cup. So we've got very, very experienced drivers here between Mark and Gab.
It looks like he's right at the tail. He still has a few laps more. So, is there slipstream over here? Do you feel it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. Going down the long straights in these cars, you can definitely get a good tow. And the interesting thing with Monza is each of the chicanes represents a passing opportunity. So long straights, coming into a hard braking chicane, it basically just leads to a lot of action.
Yes, I've noticed most of the passing, I'd say around 70% of the passing what is always done at chicanes over here in Monza. And what's interesting about the chicanes over here is like, yeah, people get confused, like entering, you're like, okay, it's gonna be a right-hander, but you're exiting a left-hander. So sometimes overtake, yeah, it gets tricky.
Exactly.
Like, where to overtake on the outside or in the inside. Because if you overtake on the outside on entry, then technically you'll be on the inside on exit. So it's quite fun, and that's where all the action is. And when you hit those berms, I mean, I've been seeing quite a few V1s go on 3 wheels over here.
Okay, so we've got Enzo Hiseta, and what is this? He is on a water break.
I wasn't sure on how to react to that. So he's on a water break. Okay.
Yeah, Enzo is he's practicing for the next round.
Okay.
Making sure that the settings on his car work. So he's chilling in the back there.
Like what you said, it's all about preparation. So it's a reverse grid up to the 10th position, which is pretty interesting. Like with Estefano, I mean, he ended up in 10th on the first race, and because of that, he was in pole. Unfortunately, certain things happened, but that gave him that perfect opportunity to be right there ahead. So team strategy kind of has bearing also with this.
Yeah, for sure. So unfortunately, Stefano hasn't been able to convert that pole position. Right now, he's driving in. He is down in sixth place. Sorry. So Stefano is in 6th place from pole position, but we now have. We still have Alexis in 1st place, Luis in 2nd, Daryl Brady in 3rd, and we have Inigo Anton in 4th place.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like we're hearing new names and a lot of familiar names as well. What's nice is like how people are stacking up in their points. This is where it's gonna get interesting.
Okay, so we've got Russell Cabrera on board with Russell, but he's under attack right now by. Whoa! Side by side there.
Side by side,
We're now coming into the last lap.
And it looks like the person right behind them is trying to see an opportunity as well.
Wow! And who is that in front of Russell? We've got a battle now. We've got a 3-way battle now for 8th, 9th, and 10th versus Shane. So Shane from Cagayan de Oro versus Russell versus Mark.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a epic battle to the finish. Again, we're on our last lap. Oh, Mark has made a mistake and has let somebody through.
Yeah. And speaking of the person he let through, it looks like he is overtaking Russell as well.
Wow.
Wow.
So this is Gab
right here.
Señares. Okay, so Gab has taken 2 cars there in that last lap. Good move by Gab. He is now up to 9th place.
So the point ends at 10th.
10th, right? Yeah. So just like Formula V1, we give points up to 10th place. And again, for this race, it's a 1 times factor. And leading into the next round, we go into times 1.5. So Russell Cabrera in 10th place, Mark Elman in 11th, and these 4 guys are battling. We're moving into the last section of this track on the last lap as well.
Okay, nice. Since it's a sweeper, interesting to take it at wide, actually. Yeah, trying to overtake on the outside. And
interesting to see so many different lines as well, right, Gabs?
Yeah, definitely. Really,
And there
even
you can see just now the slipstream that you were asking about,
yeah,
right? So Mark takes that great slipstream.
amazing way to really use that slipstream.
Oh, that
Ooh,
that
whoa,
was
nice,
hard
nice.
on the brake.
Nice, keeping his position right there. You know, we're on the last lap, so everyone's like, this is the moment of truth.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to overtake, you just have the last, few turns to do so. Whew. And we were just talking about this in the AM race also. This is where all the pressure comes in. You
That's
know,
right.
like your palms start sweating. You could feel the finish line. You just really have to stay focused.
So again, we can see Alexis on board with Alexis, and
Yeah.
on
Well,
the
he's
last lap, it looks like he's gonna wrap this up. Yeah.
yeah. He's comfy with a 4 second gap. With Luis.
And we can see that in the back, who do we have? Luis Moreno, Daryl Brady, Inigo Anton. We haven't had a lot of changes in the front. And there we go. Congratulations to Alexis, checkered flag.
Wow.
And Luis Moreno, Daryl Brady in third, and again Inigo Anton in fourth place. Congratulations to the winners.
Congratulations
And
to
what we want to, that's right. What we want to
yeah.
do is move on and interview our winners. So Gabs, you want to read out our pro class winners for race 2 in third
Yeah.
place?
And on third place is Daryl Brady of SLM Racing PH, Daryl Brady GP, and Nodalos Racing. And on second place is Luis Moreno of Legion of Racers, and our champion that led the race hard is Alexis Clapano of Sim Racing PH, ex Alexis 16 Racing.
All right, congratulations, you guys, and let's try to get these guys up into the podium video and let's interview.
From race two, I started from P10, so had to be careful of passing all the other cars. But I had also had 10 laps, so I also had to strategize when to pass them carefully. And at the end of the day, race two went pretty well for me. Although I was catching up with Alexis on the final few laps, I immediately realized I didn't have enough time to reach him, so I just did my best to bring the car home and finish second place in race two and get some good points with it.
Great strategy.
All
It looked
right,
like it worked out really well with you. Yeah. And
congratulations.
Thank you.
and now let's talk to our champion.
Yeah, so race two really went well for me. Good thing like I finished 10th on the first race, so I ended up starting at the front of the field on race two. So I just like really kept it safe, not to push so much, to avoid incidents. So yeah, that really went for me. So yeah.
Well, I'd
All
like to
right.
say also that you clocked in the fastest lap as well.
That's right. And you look really, really relaxed doing it as
Yes.
well, right?
Thank you.
We look at the in car. You're super relaxed, putting in great times, and leading from almost the very start of the race all the way to the end. So, guys, leading into the next round, which is going to be at Laguna Seca. Any quick insights? What are your strategies going to be for a totally different track in a totally different country? Daryl?
Um, Siguro for Laguna Seca, I need more practice. Tsaka siguro I need to be 10 years younger to keep the pace from the younger guys. Medyo matutulin yung mga bata eh. Old na tayo. Siguro in
Well, wag kang ganyan.
a month pa naman yun, siguro madami tayong time mag-practice para try natin makapanalo.
So age matters pala sa ano, sa sim racing. Akala ko it wasn't so much of a factor. Okay, Luis.
Yeah, for race two, aside from the usual practice, I think I would be able to relax a little bit more because coming into round two, I know that I would be having a heavier car compared to the rest of the field. So I think I would just do my best for round two, races one and two, and score as much points as possible.
Okay, great. So Gabs, what Luis is talking about is we actually have success ballast as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna
So
say, I'm like, hey,
yeah,
that,
yeah,
wow, this is
yeah.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of technical things to think about as you go through the races. A strategy for reverse grid, strategies for multipliers for the points, and of course we have success ballast as well.
Wow.
Okay, so Alexis, strategies for the
Yeah.
for the next race.
Yeah, just like what Daryl and Luis said. Pretty much just like really gonna practice hard, do my best. I will have like a lighter car compared with Luis and Daryl coming to the round two. So yeah, I'll just like do my best and practice, practice, practice.
Okay, awesome. Gabs, anything else from you?
No, it's amazing. Thank you for sharing us your insights. Obviously, it's going to be a month from now. I could already feel that you're already set on Laguna Seca and practicing. So I can't wait to see you guys out on the track next month.
All right, you guys, thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you, JP,
All right.
Gabby.
Thank
Guys,
you.
congrats all.
Guys, congrats.
Congrats.
With your Phoenix RCBC Bank Card MasterCard, get 5% rebate when you gas up at select Phoenix gas stations. 5% discount on gasoline and diesel engine oils. Free towing and roadside assistance. Get rewards points for your shopping, dining, and other purchases. And exchange your rewards points for free flights, gift vouchers, or cash rebates. Get your own Phoenix RCBC Bank Card MasterCard to enjoy Pulse Racing perks and privileges. Apply now and receive 500 pesos worth of Phoenix Fuel as welcome gift.
All right, so the Phoenix Pulse Formula V1 Virtual Cup wouldn't be possible without the help of our sponsors. So super thank you guys. So shout out to Phoenix Pulse Petroleum Philippines, LG OLED TVs, Blue Chem, Bendix, PC Express, Toplift, and OMP. Of course, we have our media partners as well. We've got Autocar, Autodeal, C Magazine, Philippine Daily Inquirer, Time Attack Manila, and Wheels PH. We're also supported by our partner organizations. Thank you to the AAP, to GT Philippines, SRPH, Ribbon Art, and Seven Garage. Again, you guys, super thank you for all the unwavering support. And of course, congratulations to all of the winners of Race 2, and thank you for joining our race this weekend. So thank you to all of the participants for the Phoenix Pulse Formula V1 Virtual Cup. And for those of you guys that were not able to join round one, this is now your chance to race against other participants who are either professional esports racers or actual race car drivers and show off your skills in the arena. So we're going to be opening up our registration for round two. Please check that out.
Yeah, well, again, congratulations to all the winners. You know, the point system in round two, again, round one was a 1x1 point system.
Yeah.
Now that we're going to round two, which will be in the US at Laguna Seca, this will be 1.5 multiplier. That's where it gets interesting. But before we end this program, we would like to announce the two raffle winners of items from Bendix and Blue Chem Philippines. So the raffle question was, who was Race 1 AM Class champion? And the answer to that is no other than Andre Vasquez of Ribbon Arc Productive Motorsports. And the winners for this raffle will be posted in the comment section below.
And race two of the Phoenix Pulse Formula V1 Virtual Cup ends here. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We hope to see you guys next month, November 14, for exciting races from round two at Laguna Seca. Again, for those who want to donate to Mabuhay Deseret, please send your donations to the bank account. And we're going to flash the details below. Remember, we're here to help the kids that are in need. So feel free to donate. Okay. So please don't forget to like us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Twason Racing, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Twason Racing TV, and hit the bell button to keep updated on our latest happenings. Gabs, do you want to promote your social media accounts?
Well, first off, I just want to thank you for having me. You know, it was a great honor to do this. So much excitement. I will see you guys November 14th. Mark your calendars. Okay, please do follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Gabby De La Merced. And remember that it is 1B. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks, JP.
All right.
Twason
So
Racing.
this has been JP Twason from Twason Racing and
Gabby De La Merced. We will see you next time.
bye.
Woohoo!
Vibrant AI picture. Resonant AI sound. The wonder of LG OLED TV.
Every time I'm on the road, I can also expect high performance from Phoenix Fuels. We made it! Now with Pulse technology, delivers enhanced power and acceleration to make every trip come alive.